Gem hardness and the corresponding Mohs hardness scale is one of the most common topics when it comes to discussing the wearability, especially on a daily basis, of certain gemstones, and when thinking about the daily wear of engagement rings. However, it's important to note that hardness is not the same thing as toughness, and to truly know the durability of a certain gem, it's important to consider all three factors of gem durability: hardness, toughness, and stability. Of course, diamonds are famously one of the hardest materials on Earth, and at a 10 on the Mohs hardness scale, it means they can scratch pretty much any other natural material. However, if you were to be handling a diamond ring and happen to drop it, let's say, on a concrete floor, it is very possible that the diamond would break. And so it's very important to remember that even though diamonds are so famously hard, it doesn't mean that they're indestructible, and a lot of care has to go into wearing them and storing them, and you definitely shouldn't be wearing them 24/7 to the gym while cleaning, etc. Interestingly enough, if you were to take a piece of jade and drop it at the same level on the same concrete floor, it would actually be far less likely to break than that diamond. And that is because even though jade does scratch easily, so it is low on the hardness scale, and that's why it is so popular for items such as carvings, it's actually tougher than a diamond, and that means it is much less prone to things like breakage and chipping. These two factors have everything to do with the chemical composition of these two different materials, and it's very much aligned with how their atoms are arranged. In the 1800s, a German mineralogist named Friedrich Mohs invented the Mohs hardness scale by testing a wide variety of different minerals and even everyday objects to see how easily they scratched each other. And he used this data to place them all on his hardness scale that is now very much often quoted when it comes to gems. As mentioned, diamonds are a 10 on the Mohs hardness scale, and the next gems after that are corundum, which are sapphires and rubies. But even though they are a 9, diamonds are still actually 140 times harder than both of these two gems. Sapphires, rubies, and diamonds all have very good toughness and hardness, and so it makes all three of them ideal for daily wear, especially for use in something like an engagement ring. The truth is, most of the common use gemstones that we know are actually ones that we don't have to worry about too much when it comes to daily wear. In reality, any piece of jewelry that you're going to wear on a daily basis, especially in something like a ring, is going to see wear and tear over your lifetime if you're wearing it that often. Some other popular gems to think about are topaz, which is very hard at an 8, tourmalines, emeralds, and aquamarine, which usually land somewhere between a 7 and an 8. And you do have to consider how included a gem is as well, because that can definitely take down both its hardness and toughness. And then you have various varieties of quartz, including citrine and amethyst, which are both a 7. Another interesting thing to think about is that most of the dust in our own air is actually made out of quartz and is also rated a 7. And any two items that fall at the same rating on the Mohs hardness scale can actually scratch each other. So if you're thinking of how you are storing your jewelry and leaving it out, say if you were to leave an amethyst necklace out after wearing it for an evening, if you do let it collect dust, that dust can actually scratch the stones potentially. So just to drive home even more that it's very important how you protect and store these investment pieces. Gems that you definitely want to consider a little bit more, and to be honest, probably avoid wearing in an engagement ring and even in a ring on a daily basis, maybe best saved for earrings or a necklace. Those are gems that are both low on the hardness and toughness scale, and these include both opals and pearls. Not only do these gems have low toughness and hardness, but they're both very much affected by their stability, and that means they can be affected by humidity, heat, and as well as chemicals that we might find in very much everyday products like nail polish remover or other various soaps. Not only do you have to be careful wearing both of these gems because they can get nicked and scratched and damaged very easily, but you do also have to be very careful about how you store them. As mentioned, they're both very much affected by humidity, and you can't keep them in very dry conditions. So both pearls and opals are honestly best stored in a silk pouch because the silk can help maintain the humidity of both gems. And you don't want to lose any moisture because you can get cracks in both, and especially in opals. Opals have a lot of water, and you will get crazing, which is, fine little lines in the stone if you're not careful. As a last note, there are some other gems that do have, slight stability issues. It's not super common, but some gems that are color treated and or are very well known for having that kind of light, low saturation kind of watercolor like hues, they can be affected the most. So gems that can be affected by light are famously kunzite and amethyst. Both can fade when it comes to very intense high light. And other gems that are affected by intense high temperatures include tourmaline, amethyst, and aquamarine. So all of these gems, I would reconsider if thinking about going on holiday with them and wearing them in long stretches of very warm, hot, sunny weather. And again, make sure you're keeping them in a cool, dry place.